Tabletop Spotlight, brought to you by Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy.
Hey everyone, JR here from Belvoir Souls with
Drake from Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy.
and you're watching another Tabletop Spotlight. So Drake, what are we looking at today?
We have, fresh from CMON themselves, we have the new Kick-Ass board game.
Ooh.
That is also the name. Though I imagine it is also
It's also
in
a
fact.
descriptor?
Yes. So this is a cooperative, kind of narrative-driven, like campaign-oriented miniatures, kind of part combat game, part a little bit more macro than that.
Okay.
Where you also playing solo, so 1 to 2, etc. Playing as the heroes, the main characters, trying to fight bad guys, beat them up, and stuff like that.
So kind of like a, man, I've been calling them like squad games. I don't know if there's like an official term for them, but like it's you and your friends, and you each play like one character. And you can play yourself, or it's more fun if you team up. And like the enemy sort of has like the board AI,
a deck structured AI. Yeah, exactly. We see like the system like that in play and stuff like the others.
Right.
Mice and Mystics was like that as well.
The Firefly Miniatures game. Which I can't remember their name right now to save my life, but it's really fun, and you guys should play it.
Anyway,
it is the GF9 one. It's really good. Like we have a set here, and I love it. But we're talking about Kick-Ass.
Yes.
Maybe that'll get us playing more superheroes.
Yeah, and what I liked about, and we'll see, we'll get a closer look at it. I'm curious to see how they do it inside the box. But they talk about not just like the hero aspect and the vigilante aspect, but that your characters, and then when you're playing, have stuff going on as part of their lives.
Cool.
Like you play them out of costume as well, and there are some challenges and things that they have to face as well.
Well, that's real exciting. Let's open up the box and take a look inside. All right, here's Kick-Ass, the board game. Let's see if this box will open up. Already, also just note how bloody everyone is. That's let's keep that in mind as we go in. So right away we see our rule book
depicting them opening the box and learning the game.
That's pretty exciting.
It's pretty meta. Get into that.
We have
Character sheets.
Like that's pretty cool.
The beginning of our punch outs.
We
tokens,
have
characters. Double-sided. That's good.
Yep. Another double-sided board of punch-outs.
Money board.
More punch-outs. Ah, the board.
Fairly large tokens, though. I do like their design on these.
Oh, wow. The board itself.
It's a good old board game.
It really is. That's pretty cool. And, of course,
rings. All black, though. That's
little bags. A bunch of custom D6s.
those are some combat dice if I've ever seen them.
Yeah, no kidding. You can see hits, crits, defenses, shields, and of course blanks. Then you've got
these are
that's
events
the AI
and enemies and stuff like that.
Then of course we've got little even more events and enemies and things. We were talking about stuff outside of combat.
Yeah, those will be stuff they have to deal with, and these are probably things that they get like, oh, you got some free time.
And of
got
course,
some time to do stuff.
like any good
CMON game.
the minis are sealed inside. Oh, they're taped. That explains it.
That new plastic smell.
Oh man, these miniatures are...
They keep them safe.
They're really cool looking though. Like,
this is an interesting insert. Like just the seal itself. 'Cause it comes down here and it's flat. Like this, there's no thickness here, but they have it as the bottom rather than just letting that be in a handful of different stuff. So that's something new that they've been doing. I don't think I've seen CMON do this necessarily kind of thing before. Yeah. This is a pretty good insert.
So, you can see a whole bunch of mooks, villains, henchmen, and assorted minions.
Themselves.
And of course, you've got your heroes and what looks like super villains. Super villains and mini bosses. So yeah, that's pretty cool. The detail on these guys is pretty amazing. You can see here they've got like
They feel sturdy too. Like
They do feel
definitely
very
hard.
sturdy.
Ow! God.
They look
the
like
spikes.
well, and like looking at them up close, you can see like they're pretty much straight out of the book. You know, they have they're the characters right out of the comics, and they're really incredibly well done. I recognize Kick-Ass and Hit Girl, and a few others from the movie and the comics.
Sweet swirling swords.
And of course, we have the villainous guys here, also straight out of the comics. And then here's Ass Kicker. Just fun times. Anyway, that's the miniatures. Let's go ahead and take a look, flip through the rule book real quick. So this is Kick-Ass, the board game, and you can see it looks very much like the cover of a comic, right down to Mark Millar and John Romita Jr.
Even the
on
inside.
there. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Again, our heroes have joined us in learning this game.
Perfect.
Component spread, always very helpful. Make
So-
sure you're not missing anything.
So you get 7 bosses, 5 mini bosses, a whole bunch of minions, 27 of them, and then just a whole bunch of stuff to play around with.
And there's a few elements on what we correctly identified as the kind of character board. Not just like there's equipment and their skills and stuff, but they're also tracking their things like happiness and their
Hardships.
social media followers.
Amazing.
All that plays into having
That's amazing. And so like the
healthy
more social media likes that you have and followers, the more you can trade in for a discount at the shops. You can attack districts. You can even like I guess
turn
recruit their
likes
followers.
into money.
Perfect. That's what I've always wanted to do. Man, I gotta start Instagramming.
You can be a social media influencer.
So there's just a lot like that's incredibly charming. That they've really got like the feel of the game down in this. So it looks like the gameplay.
Work-life balance.
It looks like the gameplay is broken up into a few different phases. You've got your event, where like this is the stuff that's happening. You've got your day, which is broken into morning, afternoon, and night. That's when you go out and you during the day you're doing normal stuff, and then at night you go out on patrol. You've got the various districts of the boards. There's just a lot of cool stuff, and of course. You've got combat in spades. So basically, you'll be fighting minions day in and day out, going through different events. Once you've completed 3 events, you must face the final plot of the main villain of whatever campaign you're playing this time.
And they are like frequently, as we saw several times. There's a break in the rules themselves for these like panels, and they're of him like. Actually looking through this game and like processing and making these and like learning the game in this comic as we're going through. So they really do keep really tight to that central identity of the IP as a comic book story.
I know what's really fun here is that like so you've got it looks like reminding me a little bit of Sentinels of the Multiverse. Like you've got different sort of different main villains that you can kind of take out, right? And they have like a different difficulty level. So you've got Vic Gigante and the Skull Gang, or you've got Don Genovese and the unification of his gang, right? You can see like, all right, I've unified all of these gangs. Now you're gonna fight them all, and that kind of changes the
difficulty.
goals, miniatures, enemies, and stuff that you'll face.
Yeah, so it seems like there's a fair amount of replayability and a fair amount of like variance and kind of differences in the campaign itself based on who you're tangling with.
Yeah, absolutely. And then of course, let's take a look at some of these cards here. I'm gonna open up this deck of different events. So you've got your boss events. These kind of all are connected to a different villain. They have their own. A much like Sentinels of the Multiverse, they've got their own boss event cards that go along with them. They've got their own districts. Then you have normal events. These can be things like gotta gather some money, save the cat, prison break. So basically, these are different things that can happen, and not all of them are like superhero things. You could just be fired from your job.
I like that they're presented as headlines.
Yeah. So there's a whole lot of different stuff that can happen there. That's just the taste of what awaits you. And then, of course, we have...
Yeah, these color-coded cards, I'm sure that correlates to a, specific thing.
Yeah, they are connected to the villains. Or maybe what happens if you are famous. That's what this looks like. So famous, kick-ass, famous, hit girl. These are different powers you can get the more, I guess, social media likes that you have. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and a lot of these are just free time, but even though these are multiple ones that have like the same effects and the same like overall like kind of stats, they're all individually illustrated. And so as far as the actual content side of these, haven't seen a single illustrative duplicate as far as these ones get. Like there are ones that are similar that are dealing with the same kind of characters, but these are all completely unique as far as their visuals.
So you've got your jobs that you'll do. You've got people and things that you know in your free time, and then of course you've got your superhero things as well. So there's just a whole lot to this game. A lot that kind of draws on the flavor and fun of Kick-Ass. This is definitely a game that's true to the comic books, and I love it because of that. Let's hop out and do the outro. Well, that was Kick-Ass. Pretty fun, pretty exciting. Cool stuff all around. I really like the feel of the combat. Like it feels like they captured that sort of disturbingly ultra-violent feel.
Yeah, true to the source material for sure. And which is worth pointing out that this does come with a mature rating for people, recommended at least for players 18 and up due to its fairly graphic content. They were definitely did Millar and Ramita proud as far as depicting and adapting their work. Other than the age requirement, like we said, you can play solo up to a group of 4, so 1 to 4 players. Cooperative usually plays in about hour to hour and a half. Imagine I would set aside more than that for your first time playing.
Sure. Now, and what does it run?
Oh, and the price tag is $59.99. It's about $60. And release date as of 9/28. So you should be good to go pick it up for yourself.
Cool. Kick-Ass the board game. Check it out. It is. It looks like a ton of fun. I can't wait to squad up with my friends and kick some butt.
Bad guys.
In the meantime, I'm JR with Bell of Lost Souls.
And I'm Drake with Dragons of Comics and Fantasy.
Thanks for watching.
Click to subscribe. Check out more videos. And thanks for watching.